Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now in this lesson today, we're going to revise the idea, the knowledge and concepts behind human systems. A lot of memorization is required here, but that's the hardest thing. And once you get over that memorizing part and you know about the different parts and functions, basically parts and functions that make up each system, that is a respiratory system, digestive system, or your circulatory system, then things are easy. Alright, so let's move on to look at some questions and how to answer them. Alright, this first question, the diagram shows the direction of blood flow in some parts of the body, right? So you must know what it represents. So basically what you already know in the past, what you already should have memorized, will be this basic model where you have your lungs, your heart, and the body. Alright, air comes in through your respiratory system, through your nose, windpipe, and lungs, and oxygen is absorbed through the air sacs in the lungs, and the oxygen-rich blood will then flow to the heart. Heart will pump the oxygen-rich blood to all parts of the body. So oxygen-rich, oxygen-rich. And then the cells in the body will use the oxygen, right, and give out a waste material called carbon dioxide. So here the blood will be rich in carbon dioxide and will be poor in oxygen. And what happens after that? The heart will then pump the oxygen poor blood to the lungs. Why? Because the oxygen poor blood is rich in carbon dioxide. So the lungs can then do its job to expel or exhale out the carbon dioxide. Oxygen is taken in, carbon dioxide is removed. Okay? Now that I've done this, now we try to match these two. Because sometimes when the question gives you this kind of model, they may not give it to you in the model that you learned in school. Right? So you see, rich in oxygen. What organ could this be that is releasing things that's rich in oxygen? So this should be the lungs. You see, the lungs give out blood rich in oxygen to the heart, which pump the rich in oxygen blood to the rest of the body. The body gives out the carbon dioxide, the blood rich in carbon dioxide to the heart, and the heart pumps the blood rich in carbon dioxide to the lungs. You see, I'm making a comparison here. So C should be your lungs. Okay, C is your lungs. That's the answer. Because it's only my lungs, but let's double check. B should be the body, yes, and A should be the heart. So answer for this is 4. Let's move on to the next question now. Now study this table below. Now this one is on, the previous one was on the respiratory system combined with the circulatory system. Now this is on the digestive system. Let's remember the parts and function. The part that removes water from the food will be the large intestine. The part that passes food to the bloodstream will be the small intestine. Digestion takes place in 3 different places. Your mouth, because there's saliva there, there's digestive juices, the stomach, and the small intestine. So let's take a look at what is for sure that we know. So J should be the large intestine. Now if you know this is true, then we need to find out, so where's the large intestine? So from the diagram, we know J, this is a large intestine. So this is correct. Nope, this is wrong. This says L, not J. Here it says M. This part is large intestine, you see. So this is wrong. So J, large intestine, this is correct. So the answer is either 1 or 3. Now let's check the other one, which is L. That should be the small intestine. See? Small intestine, L, this is correct. Answer is 1. Right here, it says it's M. Now M is not correct. Okay, so that's it. Answer is 1. Let's move on to the next question. Now, which is a function of the human skeletal system? Now you go to skeletal system. Now this kind of question don't come out so often. If it comes up about skeletal system, it's always a memory work. So basically, what is a function of the human skeletal system? Protect organs in the body, such as organs like your lungs, like your brains, like your heart. It protects the organs in the body. Okay? let's go on. Now, a scientist wants to carry out an experiment to measure the volume of blood supplied per minute to different parts of the human body during two activities, resting and running. So notice in the graph here, the volume of blood supplied per minute in cubic centimeter, this is volume unit. So when a person is, this is a PSLE, former PSLE question, 2017 PSLE question. So legs here, so blood that flows to legs when the person is not exercising is this much. Blood flowing to the small intestine when it's not exercising is this much. But when the person is exercising, the amount of blood increases to the legs and less blood go to the small intestine. So describe how oxygen in the environment reaches the legs. So we have to describe this. You've got to describe step by step. Okay, very lots of detail. So for example, this is how you would do a corrections. Oxygen in the environment enter our body. How? Through the nose, then down the windpipe and to the lungs. This will be the first 1 mark. Next, how does it get to the legs? It's only at the lungs, right? So oxygen enters the blood through the air sacs, and then the blood is pumped by the heart, traveled through the blood vessels to reach the legs. So this part I noted that the blood, heart and blood vessels, because these are the organs that are the parts in the human circulatory system. I got to mention it to tell the marker, hey, I know my stuff. So I deserve the second 1 mark. Alright, that's how the 2 mark comes from. Talks about the respiratory system and then show you your understanding about the circulatory system. May pause the video to do the corrections. Next one, using the graph above, explain how running after a meal affects the absorption of digested food. Now, when food is digested in the small intestine, it got to enter our bloodstream to be sent to all parts of the body. How does it enter to the bloodstream? Well, through the walls of a small intestine. So who carries the digested food to all parts of the body? The blood. But if there's little blood going to the small intestine compared to before, then of course there'll be less digested food going to the rest of the body. So you must show your understanding of the evidence. Evidence comes from the graph here. After running, less blood flow to the small intestine. So this is the first half mark that tells you, okay, I know the evidence. So what? So what does this mean? It means less digested food will get absorbed in the intestine. Because with less blood moving it away, you have less food getting absorbed. And that is how it affects the absorption of digested food in the small intestine. Right, last 2 questions. The chart shows how substances P and Q are transported in the human body. Remember, we revised this just now. Right, this is a mix of 2 systems, right? So one system will be moving things like digested food. The other one will be moving things like gases. So let's see what it says here. So I think the answer is 4 for this Y. System Y, I think it's a circulatory system because this is the one that's transporting stuff. System Z is the respiratory system. So how do I show it? For example, if system X is the respiratory system, so Q would be, let's go to system Y first. So the body is giving out something. So what does the body send to the human circulatory system? Blood that is rich in carbon dioxide. So P should be blood that is rich in carbon dioxide. Let's check. So circulatory, rich in carbon dioxide. And then P is also rich in carbon dioxide. Okay. Now next one, Z. So Q should be rich in oxygen then. Something is sent to the body should be rich in oxygen. So Q is rich in oxygen. So I think I made a mistake here. It's not 4. Its answer should be 2. Now Z is the respiratory system. So oxygen goes in. Oxygen is sent here. Oxygen rich. Q, oxygen rich. Sent to the body. The body send it to Y. And Y is the one that transport all this oxygen, poor blood, carbon dioxide rich blood to the CO2 to their respiratory system. Z is respiratory system to be expelled through the body. Okay, so answer is 2. So let's go to question 6. Right, see, this teachers can get it wrong, right? So just make sure we check through our work. Now, A, B, C, D are all organs in the digestive system. The graph shows the amount of undigested food leaving each organ. So, bear in mind the word here is undigested food. So, the food in our mouth must be the most amount of undigested. Right, so here it's either in the mouth or gullet. Okay, because gullet also have no digestion, mouth a little bit of digestion, so a lot. So these two will be the either mouth or gullet. Now, which one is correct? So if I look at it, I can't really tell. Maybe B could be the mouth. Okay, so my guess is B is the mouth. Okay, so it's either these two. I know the one. Then the next one is the gullet. Okay, so you see B and E. Little bit of digestion, so a lot of undigested food. Now, more digestion happen in the stomach and then ends in the small intestine. So I think the small intestine here would be C. So why is it C? Because digestion here, a lot of digestion, sorry, this is the stomach. Lots of digestion happening here. Then it goes to the large intestine, is where the digested food, no more digested food already once you reach the large intestine. So here it's either, so this one we already know, right? Large intestine is D. So if this is a large intestine, then what comes before a large intestine is a small intestine. So in a small intestine, there should be lots of digested, there's still some undigested food because digestion ends in the small intestine. So as the undigested food goes through the small intestine, it gets digested and it gets absorbed into the bloodstream. So by the time it gets to the large intestine, there's only a little bit of undigested food left. Your body has processed all these undigested food, digested this amount, leaving this amount of undigested food to go to the large intestine. So then C here represents the small intestine. Okay, C represents the small intestine here. Now, A should not be the small intestine. Okay, so this one should be it. Now, if A is a small intestine, then there's a problem. See, if A is a small intestine here, then what's the problem? Why is the amount of undigested food in A the same as the amount of undigested food in D, which is the large intestine? Then if you choose 4 as answer, you are saying that all the food has already been digested in the stomach. So by the time you get to the small intestine, there is very little undigested food, and this amount of undigested food remain undigested to the large intestine. So answer is not 4, it's 3. Alright, I wish you all the best. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.